This week we've travelled to Fraser Island just off the coast of Hervey Bay in Queensland. The only access to the island is by barge and all vehicles used on Fraser must be high clearance 4-wheel drives. In this week's episode, we visit several of the popular tourist destinations, including the magnificent Lake Mackenzie, Central Station and the wreck of the Maheno. Sean cooks us up another amazing recipe, we take a very different ride down Eli Creek, visit the Pinnacles, take a splash in champagne pools and check out the turtles in Lake Allom. But first, we pay our respects and learn all about the elite special training that happened on Fraser Island during the Second World War at the Z-Force training base. Our guide for this morning's visit to this remarkable place is Jimmy Swan, ex-commandos. He reveals to us a different history about what happened here during the Second World War.
Hi guys, welcome to Z-Force. My name's Jimmy Swan, I'm a commando vet. I've been in a fair amount of guerrilla warfare combat, and I'm actually here with Annie, who's actually also was in the military and worked with one commando. So it's great having Annie, and she runs the Rangers in Kingfisher Lodge, who I actually represent in this role. The whole purpose of special operations is to gain information, sending small commando groups in, always stealth, always using covert, and getting deep in behind the lines. And they would go in and do incredible things, including landing on beaches, pulling their foal boats up, walking 70 kilometers into the enemy areas, and either taking out a target or mainly sabotage or reconnaissance. Reconnaissance meaning get back without being found. Remember, walking through the enemy, then through the villages. You never know if the villages are on sides or off sides. Special operatives are incredible. So basically what happens is your training is everything. This is where 100 men plus the officers and trainers would operate from for 12 weeks. Just imagine if you're looking out, here's a sentry post, and this sentry post or foxhole was basically one of the 5 on a perimeter. If you're protecting a camp, what you do is you always have your sentries on the outside, obviously to protect you. We call it a 360 protection. They go out in their foal boats, followed with a PT boat, which is a powered boat, and they'd go into Mary, and they'd create havoc. They'd go to the airport and do a mock hit on the airstrip. They'd do a mock hit on the mill. All this is practicing. Remember, it's all with rowboats, huh?
Fraser Island's the traditional home to the Bachelor people, and it's the biggest sand island in the world. It's also the largest island off the eastern coastline. It is 123 kilometres in length and 22 kilometres wide. The 4-wheel driving on Fraser Island is not particularly hard or challenging unless we've had a prolonged spell of dry weather where the sand really dries out and most of the roads become difficult and very challenging. Basically, there is beach driving on the east coast and some on the west coast, which we'll be doing later, and then crossing the island is a bunch of one-way tracks through the forest. The forests can be fairly open, but in parts very dense. It's best to use your headlights in these conditions. There are several passing points on the tracks, as you will often encounter traffic coming in the opposite direction. The protocol for this is whoever is best placed to get off the road pulls aside and allows the other vehicles to pass. However, tour buses always have the right of way. It's best if you're the lead car to stop opposite the parked vehicle and advise them how many are in your convoy so they know when it's safe to continue on.
Just arriving into Lake Mackenzie. I was going to say Lake's entrance. Lake Mackenzie. We just glimpse it through the trees. See that dark bluey blacky water up until the shoreline there where it meets the pure white sand, and then it turns to that nice light blue.
Lake Mackenzie has to be one of the most visited tourist attractions on Fraser Island, and it's easy to see why. Pure, white sands, crystal clear blue water, then that drop to the deep dark blue below.
The lake is one of 40 perched lakes on Fraser Island. A perched lake is unique in that the water does not come from streams or rivers and does not flow out to the ocean. It is rainwater and just holds the water in a big basin like sponge. The white sand is near pure silica and the water is an amazing vivid blue. However, the water is quite acidic and very little aquatic life can survive here. Underwater, the lack of life is eerie, but you can rest assured no nasties are going to chomp down on you, and it's a fantastic place to cool down or just mess about in the water.
Now, we're back on the track for a short distance to Central Station. Central Station originated as the birthing place for the Pachela women. Men were not allowed in the area. Later on, during the 1920s to the 1950s, the area was cleared, becoming headquarters to Fraser Island's forestry operations. During that time, there are over 30 houses here and a school for the children of all the loggers. This area is dominated by the presence of the Wangulbar Creek. From an open sunny picnic area, in a few steps you're in a lush dark rainforest, filled with trees that seem to go up to the sky forever. The clear water in the creek, which is safe to drink, on its sandy bed looks like a picture postcard. The boardwalk was erected here to protect the giant king ferns, which have the largest fern fronds in the world. Back in Melbourne, we start to equip our Land Rover Discovery Series 2 project car with a snorkel and some door graphics.
Oh, I reckon I'm in the wrong spot. As we can see here, these marks here is where the template showed it, and that blue dot is where the stud's sitting. So we put these big seating washers on the studs on the inside of the guard. These nice big seating washers here, and then follow it up by one of these nylock nuts. We can go over the toughest vibrations and hopefully the snorkel stays on.
These were 18-year-olds, younger than you guys. Amazing. They were just about to go there and protect their country at that age. You know, they'd just left school, or not quite. There were some of those naughty ones like Lloyd Campbell, who of course was 16 when he went into ops, so he was 18 when he got here. But he was tough now. He had done some killing on his own. He had been on missions that make your eyes water. Of course, he knew that from here he was going to go out. So at 18 years old, they were operational. Their officers, their leaders were only 24. 24. You know, I mean, it's amazing. So that's what it's all about, guys. But this is what this base camp had. And all the tents would be on the extremities. So tents on the outside, we again, remember what I told you? 360-degree protection. And then your officers and all your messes and everything on the inside. Yep. Okay? And that's, you got your nucleus and you got your protection. So who gets shot first? Your trooper. C'est la vie. Okay? That's what I was, a knucklehead. So always on the extremities. So if we're sleeping, we make sure the sentry would be on guard. Now remember, also in special ops, because you're small numbers, you didn't necessarily have what we call sentry ups. What we would do is we'd do a bombshell, we'd meet up at a position, and we'd all go to sleep. But we would have early warning systems put out, little booby traps, etc. So you could all sleep because you knew that you were going to have to run and operate.
so we've now crossed the island. At Eurong, we exit onto the beach. Here the speed limit is 80 k's an hour, but we always need to be on the lookout for obstacles, creeks that carve out steps in the sand, fishermen, dingoes, and of course other four-wheel drive vehicles, so we only do that speed if it's safe to do so. There is no left or right hand drive, but if oncoming traffic is heading straight towards you, it's courtesy to indicate which way you're going to pass. Again, tourist buses have the right of way, so it's up to other traffic to keep well clear. Also along this stretch on the east coast, there's several light aircraft to take visitors on short flights across the island, so the speed drops to 40 k's an hour and you're well advised to keep your distance from the takeoff and landing strip. We've now arrived at the entrance of Lake Wabby. The actual lake's only another 20-minute hike away. It's a slog through the forest until you reach the sandblow, then it's even harder to progress on the soft-moving sand. There's about a 5-minute walk over the sandblow to find the green Lake Wabby.
The green coloured Lake Wabby is different to Lake Mackenzie because a few species of fish can survive here. On this side of the lake there's a giant sand dune which is slowly taking over the lake. Experts say in about 100 years the lake will be completely gone.
Bennett, the odds is...
Just get a headbutt with your mouth. This is one of the few places in the world that you can see the ocean, a forest, a freshwater lake, and be standing on a sand dune all at the same time.
Back in the cars, we head further north. The beach driving on Fraser Island, it's just so cool, with the sea lapping at our wheels and every few kilometres the scenery changes. It's just an awesome place to be in the world. We're heading for Eli Creek, where our producer has said he's got something very special in store for us. We're here at Eli Creek. We're going to float down the creek on some inflatables. The producers have bought us something. We've got no idea what they are, so I'm going to hand them out and we'll see how we go. Tristan, I reckon the biggest one for you, because that's what you reckon you have.
Biggest what?
Sean, the smallest.
Bennett's the smallest.
I'm nervous.
What do you want?
Oh,
Go the white one.
I didn't.
No, that's got his name on it.
Thanks,
got his name
thanks
on
for
it.
the choice.
Pound.
I'll just go this one here, I think.
Of course it's pink.
At least I didn't luck out on that one.
There's a lot of people here, and I'm going to be going down on something pink.
I've got a turtle. Turtle for me.
Oh, it's something pink. Damn.
At least this box isn't pink. Yes, I got a whale.
The turbine-driven steamers, the Maheno and its sister ship, the Una, were sold to a Japanese steel wrecking company. Went under tow on the night of July 9th, 1935, a cyclonic storm hit, snapping the Maheno free from its sister ship, the Una. Without its propeller, powerless, the Maheno now lays here on 75 Mile Beach as a wreck for all the visitors to come and see. The boys are checking it out. I'm going to go catch up with them. Built in 1905, the SS Maheno was amongst the first of the turbine-driven steamers produced. She was an ocean passenger liner owned by the Union Company of New Zealand, crossing between New Zealand and Australia from 1905 to 1935. She was a 5,000-ton steel-hulled ship, built in Scotland and launched on the 19th of June 1905. At 400 feet long and 50 feet in the beam, she was powered by 3 Parsons turbine engines, giving her a top speed of 17.5 knots. She carried up to 420 passengers. During her time as a hospital ship, She served at Gallipoli at Anzac Cove and carried the wounded to safety for a period of 3 months in the spring of 1915, and she then went on to Egypt to collect patients for transport back to New Zealand. She then sailed to the UK, arriving at Southampton on the 3rd of July 1916, just after the Battle of the Somme. Until October 1916, she operated in the English Channel, taking large numbers of wounded troops from France to England. She then ran 6 trips bringing back patients from the UK to New Zealand until she was returned to her owners at the end of the war to resume her commercial service.
Alright, so being on Fraser, I've decided to come up with a little bit of a treat. We're going to cook some pizzas in a pan tonight. Sean doesn't know this yet, but I'm going to mix up the dough for him now, and then when we get back to the campsite, it's going to be all up to him to finish it off. Alright, first of all, going to get the yeast activated, so a cup of water in here. Let that sit for a minute. Get the flour going, so we'll use about half a bag here. I'm just going to add a bit of olive oil to the middle here. 2 cups of water into there. Add a little bit of salt in here, just for a bit of flavouring. Yeast looks like it's just started to activate, so I'll put that in. Going to give it a bit of a mix. So we've got a good bit of dough here. Let that sit for a bit while we're driving along for the rest of the afternoon. And Sean can turn that into some pizzas tonight for us all.
Right here we're at the relief map. The relief map is actually, we believe, a map of the local area, and this is where the guys would stand and they would plan their attacks. I'd like to now ask you to please listen in while we go into our ode. They shall not grow old as we are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, in the morning we will remember them, lest we forget.
Behind me is Lake Allom. We've got a couple freshwater turtles swimming around here, and we were told that they live here, so it's good to actually see them. We've got some cameras. We're all going to jump in, go for a swim, see who can get the best footage. We lost the camera.
We're here at the Pinnacles, which are multicoloured sand cliffs on 75 Mile Beach. They've formed over hundreds of thousands of years by many minerals seeping through the sands and exposed sand dunes. There are over 70 different colours here.
Here you go. Let's go check these out.
We're back on the 75-mile beach, heading further north. The next stop for us is the Champagne Pools.
Here we are at Champagne Pools, a series of naturally created rock pools right on the breaking surf line. They get their name by the waves at high tide crashing against the rocks and overflowing, creating lots of bubbles in these pools here. But right now, it's a bit warm. I reckon it's time for a swim.
Where are my sunnies? You're here. Oh, where my sunnies are gone. That's a write-off.
Right, on your marks. Get set. Go.
We need some BBs. We did this wrong. I got wild. Oh, it's a beach whale! It's a beach whale! I should have brought a knife and I could have just punched someone. Should have. Ruined some dreams. Hey! Turn! You hit that! Oh, not exactly warm. Anything? Oh, that's fresh. Come on, Bennett! It suits the dreads, he loves it. Oh, boys, I reckon we need a beer.
Alright, so we're back at base camp. I've got the dough that's risen perfectly while we've been driving. It's ready to be kneaded, cut up, and then I'm going to hand over to Sean. He's got all the toppings prepared. He's going to get it ready, cook it up for us, and we're going to have a feast tonight. Alright, so let's get started. Get some flour. I think it did get a bit wet, so we'll chuck a bit on.
Take this one here, and quickly move it over to the pan here, and layer in there. So we've had this dough cooking about 30 seconds now. Time to turn her over. We've got this dough here. Oh, look at that. Just how I want it. Slide into the pan. There we go. Back it back on the heat. And then the key is a bigger pan over the top. So the heat comes out from around the sides, convections and cooks on top. So that cheese gets nice and melty. Pan off, sit that on the burner so the next pizza we can cook the top of. Bring this one over here. It's looking real nice and melty. So scoop that onto the plate there for Myles.
Oh, takeaway. Here we go.
Here we go, mate. Yeah, boys.
You're forgetting two more.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm gonna get back in the kitchen and cook the other two.
Yeah.
The only problem with this is You gotta wait a little bit. So I'll get back to it.
For this week's recipe and any information on our show, visit our website at 4x4aussiemates.com, subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a follow on Facebook and Instagram at 4x4 Aussie Mates.